Yay.
All right, man. I'm gonna hop out of here. So thanks again, and let's keep going.
Yep.
Hey, real quick. No, never mind. I was gonna ask what you wanted to see for the next one, but I'll just pick it. We're gonna do an Iowa gameplay for Puddin'. We're gonna do this on Zipang. What is Zipang? I don't remember. Yeah, losing the IFHE. I would have spec'd an IF, but here's the thing, right? If you're gonna take this guy and put him up on your Zhao, IFHE is not optimal. And so here's the deal. I mean, you either keep a specific captain for that ship, or you need to think about, you know, respecking once that captain gets up to that point. So don't worry about it. It's probably better I just run into another one here. I want to get replays out of the way. Kind of feel like I sometimes I waste a little bit of time trying to say, hey guys, what do you want to see next? And you know, kind of sitting there for like 3-4 minutes as people are not deciding. So it's fine. After we get through the priority ones, though, I will be asking you guys for your picks. So if you want, be thinking about that. Alright, so this is Avenged December 7th in the Iowa. If you ever get a chance to visit an Iowa-class battleship, do it. They're neat. However, they've been modified from their World War II lineup. You do not have this entire rear area anymore. This is all cruise missile stuff, so some of the secondary battery's gone. Obviously, all this stuff has changed. And then on the rear, all the anti-air guns is gone. The plane's gone. Instead of it's a helipad now.
Battle starts.
So let's take a look. We already see some toxicity in chat, so there's that. Now you're using Avenge. You're using the 100% camo. I see equal speed Charlie London for XP. I see fire reduction. Looks like what is that? Credit flag, Hydra flag for XP. Juliet Charlie for no boom boom. You've got repair party booster, credit cost reduction, which is good on a tier 9 ship, and consumable reload. All of those are good things to use. Why aren't you using premium scout plane? Or the premium scout plane may come in handy, may not. I don't know. I have a feeling that you use it to snipe targets that are in smoke, which is fine, and that is not something that you see all the time. So you can get away with doing standard, I suppose. SAT score, bringing up a good point. This is a stock Iowa, so that's an interesting thing too. Personally, and you know, everybody knows I'm smog and I have a ton of XP sitting around, but if you've got the free XP, one of the things that I like to do is use the free XP and get out of the stock hull as quickly as possible and go from there. Now you see, we see on the enemy team there, Disturbed One is already basically saying, well, this game is a loss and stuff like that, because he's looking at the teams and stuff, and I don't know, I don't see any reason why you would want to say that, especially if you're top tier with the Buffalo there. Anyway, as an Iowa, you're top tier. Like I was saying, your biggest threats are going to be destroyers, so the Yagumo and the Sims. And then if you show too much side, the other battleships can be a big threat too. And of course the cruisers can spam HE and burn you to the waterline, so there's that too. Not a bad salvo, almost 6,000 damage on that, what was that, a Benson? No, that's the Sims right off the bat, so that's a good little whacking. So when you come in and you see a game like this, personally, I don't feel like that's a stacked team. If I come into a game and I'm by myself, and the enemy team has a division that is basically 2 strong anti-air ships, like a cruiser, battleship, or even a destroyer with defensive fire, and an aircraft carrier that's 1 tier lower, that's what we call a fishing div, and those are the ones when I look at that and I just say, ah, crap. But the thing about this game, you just never know what's going to happen. So don't put yourself in the mindset that this is a quick loss. Put yourself in the mindset that you're just going to have to work a little harder to get that win. And yes, BPAP is definitely fair and balanced, as you saw. 10,000 damage even so far. Cleveland got away. Alright, now you are being radared by one of the Clevelands, which is kind of funny, but I guess it makes sense that Cleveland wants to know where you're at. Now, Sims can be a big threat because its torpedoes are so slow you don't realize that the torps are coming until it's too late. I would have kept my guns pointed at the Sims. Forget the Cleveland. Forget the Cleveland. The Sims is the bigger threat. You need to wipe them off the board as quickly as possible. Fortunately, your team did just that. And now you've been what a present, what a gift this is, huh? Cleveland right in front of you, just kind of chilling. Unfortunately, recognized the threat and turned out quickly enough, but there it is. And like Blas is saying, have an idea of how you want to approach the battle, and constantly shifting your guns on the left side and the right side is just so bad, because what you're doing is you're wasting an awful lot of time trying to shift your guns around. So something to be considering. There's 2 fires. Here's when you would DCP. Good. Using Premium Repair Party, also good. Scharnhorst is spamming HE at you, LOL. That Scharnhorst had your broadside for a bit there, could have done some pretty good damage with AP, but chose not to. Once again, you're swinging your guns a lot, and like you're not sure who you want to target. You're assuming your team is going to kill that low health Cleveland on the other side. And by looking at this guy, what you're doing is you're making your rear turret swing back around again. It has a huge impact on the amount of shells you can put out. So. Now that Scharnhorst on the flank is a definite concern, but your team is really spread out at CCAP, and you're clustered at A with your team. So, yeah. Like SAT score said, stopping might not have been a good idea right there, just because what are you afraid of? You don't have a destroyer that's going to prevent you from pushing. You've got a bunch of HE spamming ships. Big deal. Get closer to where you're more accurate with your shells and punish them. Like that. Also, you're staying really close to the turrets, and I would try to go a little bit farther out from that. By going close to your turrets, you both are attacking targets from the same angle, and you want to go for cross shots. Like Blas is saying, I think, you know, kind of planning ahead is really important, especially in battleships. You shouldn't just be thinking about the now, you need to be thinking about what's going to happen a few minutes down the road. Where do I want to be? By slowing down and kind of stopping there, you gave yourself an advantage in the initial engagement, but then after that, you kind of... Well, you didn't even give yourself an advantage, I guess, but you were safer, I should say. But, then you're stuck spending time trying to get into a position. Again, now look, your rear turret has finally turned to the right side, and now you've decided to take these guys up on the left. So now you're... The poor guys in your third turret, man, these guys are probably just about ready to mutiny now because they've been turning their turret left, and then right, and then left, and then right. And they're probably just like, enough already. Make a decision.
Enemy cruisers sunk. Our team has taken the lead.
Now at this point, it's you're at a ship disadvantage because of the group at sea, so it's time for you to make things go. And here you go. Once again, you're dancing with the turpits here. Don't be dancing with the turpits. I don't... Never mind. To say you could choose to DCP, but you weren't being HE spammed at all, so it might have been a decent time to use your DCP. I don't know. Those of you guys in the comment, what do you think? Alright, enemy turpits obviously is a threat. That Charles Martel is really low. You could knock him down and get him off the board quickly. You're choosing to go after the turpits instead. Unfortunately, your friendly turpits used his torpedoes already from the left. Now you're deciding that the Charles needs to die when you just used your entire salvo. I probably would have used my salvo on the Charles, get him off the board. Broadside Missouri, yes please. At least the Missouri is off the board. That's good. Now the Charles is going to continue to farm you at this point. So you got a couple of choices. If you're not going to chase after him, heading north in Navia and going bow onto the battleships, getting under the protection of the island might be a good choice for you. Also, I wouldn't focus the turpits. I'd be focusing the Richelieu because, well, he's overextended quite a bit. And now you've decided to change to the right side, so... There's the Yagumo. And you're looking at a broadside North Carolina and saying, ooh, easy shots. I would have gone for the Richelieu, man. Much closer, tighter shots, more accurate. He's broadside to you, man. You could have done some really good damage to him. But instead, you're allowing him to get away with that decision. And now that you finally decided to shoot the Richelieu, it's too late. He's already made the turn. Oh look, your rear gun finally gets to shoot. Those gunners are like, yay! Now you are overextending. Way too much. Your Gauge is dead because I think the Charles took him out.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Yeah, I think stopping earlier would have been the better choice. Instead, you're just rushing headlong into the enemy. And that Richelieu got a really good salvo on the Tirpitz. That's nice. But, I mean, you're completely broadside to this Tirpitz. And so is the Richelieu. But here's the problem. If you angle to the Tirpitz, you're going to go broadside to the North Carolina. Alright, that's good. At least he's gone. Now you know that all that's left is the Charles Martel, and that should be your target if you've got a shot on him, which you do right now. So, knowing when to push in, when not to push, planning out your shots, I would have spread that salvo out there. I would have fired one at where he was going and then one predicting where he's going to turn. Most players, when they see battleship shells coming, they turn out like that Charles did. So I would have shot at him once and then another one above him, basically anticipating him turning out, which he did. He's so low, one hit would have done it. Even an overpen would have killed him. So there's no point in grouping up your shots on the same exact vector. At that point, spread out your damage. Target selection is definitely poor. You're trying to go for opportunity shots on broadside ships as opposed to going for shots on ships that will help your team secure the win sooner. And we kind of saw that with your carrier gameplay as well. This is the same player, guys, that had the Essex at the beginning we were watching, where you were kind of ignoring the destroyers in favor of getting higher damage rolls on battleships. And I don't know that that's a useful that's as useful as going for the destroyers. Now you just got spotted. You're going to continue to get farmed. Yeah, positioning could definitely use some work. I agree. It kind of feels like and you're doing something that a lot of battleships will do too, and now you're going to get out of the cap. Why? You might as well stay in the cap. But a lot of times I see players, they don't like to use the islands to their advantage, and they stay a little bit too far out from those islands. You gotta remember, the islands offer you cover. They also prevent vision and stuff like that. They block torpedoes. So they're good. Now here's a good shot. I would go for the Charles. I would forget about the North Carolina. And again, spread your shots. He's already turning away. Now you can go for the ram if you want, because that's going to seal the deal for the game. Yeah, you had a good 10k shot on the North Carolina earlier. That's something definitely worth pointing out. Okay, now I'm going to pause. He's chosen. Oh, that's kind of a cool... Sorry, I need to screenshot this. But look at this position here. You know what the enemy is going to do. He's chosen not to allow you to ram him. Oops. So what you want to do then is you want to get your guns turned to the left here. This is called jousting. Get your guns turned to the left, and then wait until you're right next to him and shoot right down into the citadel. Boom. Gone. Dead ship. Or you could just ram, I guess. Ding, game is done. Alright, so thanks for sending in the replay, Mr. Revenge, December 7th. Definitely a good battle. But yeah, I think you kind of heard some of the comments and stuff like that. It's definitely some things to be thinking about when playing the Iowa. Iowa's a fun ship. Personally, I prefer the Azumo, but I know that I'm kind of in the minority with that. So yeah, alright, so that takes care of that. So we've got one more priority ship to do. That is, I believe, the Kurfürst. Großdeutschland. Missouri best tier 9 battleship. Well, I mean, it's got really good credit earnings, that's for sure. Good stuff. Alright, this is Rip Nun 2 in the Kerr first with Jane Officer and